Welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Again, I'm your host, Keisha Lancelin. Thank you for continuing to watch. In this segment, we have something not just for the men, but also for the ladies. Often when we hear about hair thinning and hair loss, we're talking about men, but it's happening to our ladies as well. And Lexington International has created HairMax just for you. I am here with Randy Balicki. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Keisha. Thank you for having us.
Randy, this is exciting.
It's very, very exciting.
So HairMax has been around for men for a while, right?
It's been around for men since 2007 when we get the FDA clearance for men.
Okay.
But we just recently finished very extensive clinical studies on women. And the clinical studies showed that the HairMax works for women.
Okay.
It helps them to regrow their hair, helps them to get thicker, fuller hair.
Wow.
And the clinical studies were reviewed by the FDA, and now we're granted FDA clearance as the only medical device for home use to regrow hair.
Everybody thinks that is absolutely impossible. You know what I mean? They just think it's
do.
genetics, and you know what? When it happens, you just kind of live with it. But now you really don't.
Now you really don't have to live with it. You have an option now.
Okay.
And the best thing about it, safe, cost-effective, and easy to use.
Wow. Well, let's show some of the before and after photos, because I think when people see it with their own eyes, they know, oh my gosh, this really works.
This really works.
Okay.
These are some before and afters from our clinical studies that were just recently completed. And you can see in the top photo is the before, and this young lady was experiencing significant hair loss around the parting area. Okay. After 26 weeks of use, you can see considerable regrowth. Right. The hair is fuller, thicker, it's even darker in color.
Okay.
This particular lady was losing it up in the temporal area.
Okay.
And you can see significant regrowth in this area as well. And then finally, this lady had general diffuse thinning throughout the top of the scalp.
Okay.
And after using the HairMax laser comb, she regrew in her hair. Men have an option. They can wear a baseball cap.
Yeah.
They can shave their heads. Yeah. You know, they can be fashionable.
Exactly.
Like
Go
some
bald.
of the icons out there, you know. But women don't have that option.
No.
They suffer in silence.
Yeah.
And until recently, it's almost been a taboo subject among women.
Absolutely.
But now there's a solution out there. And it's a safe solution.
Okay.
The clinical studies proved it was safe, proved it was efficacious, meaning that it works very, very well. And it's easy to do.
Okay.
2 to 3 times a week, 10 to 15 minutes is all it takes.
Well, let's see what
Here's the
this
device.
HairMax looks like. Is it as big as a big old hairdryer?
No, it's as simple as just a little handheld brush.
Okay.
And inside the brush, when we turn it on here, we have 9 laser beams. And the laser beams you can see are just completely safe. You feel nothing. If you put your hand out, you'll feel nothing.
No? Okay.
But light is energy. And this is laser energy, or light energy. And the hair follicles are able to absorb that light energy and turn it into cellular energy. And
so you are regrowing your own hair.
You're regrowing your own hair. So it's not a surgical thing where you're putting in new hairs. It's not a chemical or a drug that you're taking every day.
Yeah.
It's all natural light.
That's amazing. And again, can we talk about the difference in cost for something that you may do, you know, surgically, or, you know, some drugs that you may take, and how much this might cost you per year?
Okay. We have, this device is a one-time purchase.
Right.
We've designed it to last for 10 to 15 years. And we've had them out in the market and in tests for that long, and, and they're lasting very, very well. The device is $495. Which, you know, if you amortize that over the 10 years, it's very, very little cost associated with it. If you compare that to a transplant surgery or something that can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, some transplants, depending upon the severity of the hair loss, can be up to $10,000.
Wow.
There are drugs out in the market. The only approved drugs for women are Rogaine, 2%, or minoxidil is the active ingredient. And minoxidil works very, very well. But it's a lotion you put in your hair twice a day. And this is an all-natural, non-drug solution where you just simply brush it through your hair. You start at your hairline, and you move it very slowly, holding in place every 4 seconds. And the lasers bathe your scalp with the energy. The energy is absorbed by the hair follicle. And the hair follicle becomes stronger and stronger and regrows a beautiful natural hair.
And you don't have to do it twice a day.
You have to do it twice a day. 3 times per week.
3 times a week.
It's about 10 minutes.
Wow. And how would people find the HairMax? Does Lexington have a website, or do you have to go to your dermatologist?
We do have a website. It's www.hairmax.com.
Okay.
We've got all kinds of information about male and female hair loss. We've got the results of the clinical studies. Our clinical studies were conducted at some of the major universities in the United States. Cleveland Clinic, University of Miami, all very, very significant hair loss centers. So this is very, very important to understand that the clinical studies have the vigor behind them that represent a true medical device.
Rainey, this is all very exciting. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having us.
And sharing all this information. Okay. It is called the HairMax. And you know what? It looks like maximum results, or what it should be called, because that's what's happening. So ladies, if you're a part of that, you know, that small little circle who doesn't say much and suffers in silence because of your hair thinning and hair loss, you now have a solution. Please take the opportunity to go to the website and learn more. We'll be right back here on Focus on